Alright guys, I want a chisel grind on this axe, so I'm going to use the grinder here. It's mostly flat, so I should be able to achieve that, and I'm going to attempt not to ruin the patina. So, cross your fingers. Alright guys, so here's what I know about this axe, or at least think I know. It's been a bit of a mystery. So J&M was a famous four-story hardware store in New York. Founded in 1809, closed in 1960, and this axe was made for them, I think, by Warren Tool Company in Warren, Pennsylvania, sometime around the turn of the century, early 1900s. But there is some conflicting information that the hardware store may have actually made the axe themselves. I'm not quite sure. So if you know, let me know in the doobly-doo below. Oh, also, I'm not quite sure how rare these are. I've seen a few double bits with the same stamp come up on eBay, but I've never seen another Connie. So if you know how rare these things might be, also, I'd appreciate that information. Thank you. So I'm changing from a 40 grit to a 120 grit here, and the 80 grit is a lot stiffer paper, so I'm having some issue with tensioning here. Also probably shouldn't have jumped up from 40 to 120. Probably should have went 40, 80, 120, and that'll come back to haunt me a little later. But I'll get this sorted, and we'll get moving. So if you were paying close attention before, I was grinding right on the platen, but here I'm grinding right in between the wheel and the platen, and that just gives the very edge a little convexity. A clean shop is a happy shop. At least that's what they say. It's a constant struggle. You do a little work, it blows up, but you gotta stay on top of it or else it gets out of control. Alright, I decided to do a mirror polish on this, so I'm gonna work this up from 120 to 240 to 320 up the grit ladder here. So let's get going. So I started with 240, but I noticed it's not quite getting all the lines out, so I'm going to drop back down to 120 on the flap disc and see if that does it. So I rarely do a mirror polish because it's a pain in the ass. But I do notice that when it gets a little too hot, the dust particles of the steel will start to like gum up, and that is time to cool it down. You're not going to ruin your temper that way. I think it's probably impossible with an angle grinder. But these rust erasers work really good for knocking off that haze. And then once that's off, hit it with a little water. Give it a go again. Call that mirror polish, huh? Alright guys, I do have to put a secondary bevel on this because right now the main bit is sitting at 17.5 convex, but up here at the heel and the toe, it's more like 15, and that is just way too acute for the wood I'm cutting. I normally try to make it around 20, and you can see there's a lot of wiggle room in there. So we're sitting somewhere right there.
Danger zone head.
And that's just not going to hold up. So secondary bevel it is. And to do that, I'm going to use this velour fine cut file in order to create that secondary bevel, and then I'm going to refine it with this diamond file. Ben Scott just put out a really good video on axe geometry, and my experience correlates with his almost to the T. The one minor disagreement we have is with secondary bevels. He thinks, which makes sense, the smaller the secondary bevel, the better off you are, which is definitely true. But I find that when I get down around 17, even 18 degrees, if I don't have a substantial secondary bevel, which is to say a 1/16 of an inch wide or better, then the edge just folds or crumbles. So you might just say, why not just leave it around 20 degrees, which is typically what I do. But if you want a really keen axe for felling, you can get away with something in the woods I'm chopping 18, 17 degrees, so long as you put a substantial secondary bevel on it. And I think that what you lose by doing that is less than having that 20 degree main grind. I hope that makes sense. Just thought I'd put that out there. See what you guys' thoughts are in the doobly-doo below. This is definitely getting into Lane's so-called danger zone here for the woods I'm chopping. This may not hold up, but we're gonna see. There she is. All finished up. All I gotta do is make a sheath now, which will probably take me ages. But that is essentially my first wall hanger. So let's go hang it. What's that? Nope. Can I just say, I absolutely love this pocket right here of this fawn's foot on these French curve handles. Just really nice, just catches the weight of the axe. And that's a pretty good test for that edge, because this has been down since early spring, and you can see it is well on its way to drying. These are the tops of the trees, so they cure faster. So those limbs are hard, seasoned, partly seasoned red oak. If it was going to roll easily, it would have done it all right. Too hot to keep chopping, guys. It is just humid. Feels like I'm underwater out here. I just came out to test this beauty and to see if this edge was going to hold up. I had high suspicions that it wasn't, because before I put this micro bevel on there, I just tapped it on some linoleum, a piece of linoleum countertop, and it rolled right where I hit it. So I knew that I had to add a fairly stout micro bevel, and that's not, can you guys make that out right at the top there? That is not as big as I make them sometimes. Sometimes I make them even a little bit bigger, but so long as you have a stout enough secondary bevel, I find you can get away. I mean, this is in some places like 16 degrees. which is starting to get into like racing axe, danger zone, as Lane would say.
Danger zone edge. This is a 17.5 degree angle right there.
And I intend to use this a few more times for felling, but the wall hanger thing was just a bit. I am mostly going to just keep this as a kind of showpiece, but I can't help but use it from time to time. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have any more information about this or any conflicting information, do below. Thank you guys. See you on the next one. Peace.